Hi, I'm James Warren from OA Systems. This video is taking a look at the user interface updates to the 2021 Release Wave 2 for Dynamics 365. So some of the reason for this video is because if you're an existing user of Dynamics, there is some user interface changes that you should be aware of. A good example is if you are used to the layout of views in the system, they have been adjusted, so you can see on the left hand side we've now got these circles to show you selecting records, and you've got that option to select. That used to just be a blank area where you had to know you would go and tick the box. This has brought the system in line with Power Apps, so I think that's a consistent user interface change that's happened there. One of the other things that's happened is if you come in and do an edit of all the records, you can come in and select for whichever form type you have, and you can go into selection criteria not just on the front page but across all the other tabs in the system. And you'll see down here, I'm just going to update the relationship type with customer here. When you hit the save button, it will give you a count of the records that are being adjusted. This is an improvement where there did used to just be a spinning circle during the time it took to update those records. And if you were updating a lot of records, you could often sit there wondering whether it was doing the job or not. It's now actually showing you how that job is progressing, which I think is a great improvement. In this area, you can see we have a couple of different buttons up here. One of them is similar, so Advanced Find is what it's always been. But when we click on that button, you can see when we come into here, there is a new layout where you get to be able to go in and do some filtering based on different things here. And if I want to come in and make an adjustment along the lines of a particular industry, and we've got our drop-down menus now. This is sample data, so it's not going to make a change to any records that exist in there, but you'll see those advanced filter changes are just a little simpler than they used to be. And when you do make those changes, they'll do the same thing as this button here. So you'll see historically with a view, you've just had the columns that have been set up in that view and you haven't been able to adjust them without going and creating a new view. If you want to do some limited adjustment, you could come in here and say, I just want to see the customers that are on credit hold, and you can come in and apply that, and what it will do is it will add obviously that column here to the side, and you'll see you get this icon here saying customers with an asterisk. So it's telling you that the view you're looking at is not the standard view. If you go and click on a record and drill in and then go back to the view, you'll see it is persistent, but if you do go out of the session and then come back in, this view will not still have credit hold. You would actually have to go in and create a new view with that in there. So it is just for while you're working in the environment. The other thing is if you're doing an import of data, this could be whether you're putting new records in the system or whether you've got some sort of external system where you're pulling information in. That now just operates from inside the record here rather than having to go into the back end, and you can do all the mapping to the fields from here. Finally, if you come into this view, you'll see we used to have, much like Excel, you would have the little pin where you could pin a view to be your default view. In this case, you can reset the default view, which would have been active accounts, or if we come in and change the view, when you've gone into that new view, you can see that it says set current view as my default. That's one I wanted to make sure that was in the video because it was something that actually took me a little while to find myself. These are reasonably simple adjustments, but if you're very used to the system, it's just good to know that these changes have been made. As you can see, there's quite a lot of other changes, and you can go and have a look at our other videos where we talk about things like Deal Manager, where there's a whole redesign around what you can do with the user interface, around visualization, and integrations to things like team calls or other phone systems. So keep an eye out for the other videos in this range, but very simply this was about having a clear understanding of what's happening with your user interface and how that will have an impact on just your button clicks while you're using the system. Thanks very much.